What's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. If you haven't already guessed from the title of this video, today's session is going to be a bait test. And the bait that we're going to be testing today is Sonubaits' new marine green range. So I've been out and I've got some of the 2 mils and I've got some of the new marine green Bandon Wafters. So I'm really excited to give these a good test out. Now, before I start the video, I just want to say, folks, if you're following the channel, you already know this, but I'm not sponsored by anybody. I've been out, I bought these with my own money, so you know you're going to get a fair representation of what these baits are actually like. Now, I don't know whether you can see this, but I've already got myself pretty much set up. The specimen rods are together, the method feeders are on, the hook lengths are on, so all we need to do is get these pellets mixed up, get a couple of these Bandon Wafters on, and we can get fishing. I've been really lucky today. I've set out a lot later than I normally set out. I usually get to a fishery for about first light, but it's actually like 11:30 now, so I've been really lazy today, but I've been really lucky and there's nobody else fishing this fishery today. And another thing I'm really excited for is hopefully getting a few carp on the bank. All I seem to be catching at the moment is tension bream for some reason, whether that's because the carp have been sporadically spawning at some of the places that I've been fishing, I don't know, but fingers crossed we get some carp on the bank. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, I've already put a few pellets down this margin to get it started of the marine green range. But obviously these need soaking, which we're going to do in a second, and I will take you through that process so you can replicate it yourself at home. Maybe you're new to fishing, so on and so forth. But we've got a 4 or 5 hour period here where we're just going to try and catch as many fish as possible. We're not going to be selective. Anything that swims we're going to fish for and going to see just how many fish we can catch in that period of time. All right folks, let's get this bait mixed up and let's get into the video. Okie doke folks, so this is my little setup and peg for today. I'm fishing bite alarms today because it might absolutely chuck it down at some point today and I want to be able to sit here under my brolly out the way of the rain. Okay, so that's why I'm fishing on the bite alarms and not using my feeder rods. But we're still going to fish the method feeders. Obviously these pellets are geared up for the method feeder and also the Bandon Wafters as well, but you can fish them like bomb and pellet as well if you wanted to. These balance absolutely perfectly with a size 10 or a size 12 hook, so that's what we're using today. I've got one size 10 tied up and I've got one size 12 tied up, and it really doesn't matter. It just depends on the size of the fish that you're targeting and what type of feeder hooks your preference is. I like to use Corum all-rounder. They're my favourite feeder hooks for anybody that's interested. I'm using my Corum Opportunist Extend Specie rods. They're a nice short feeder rod, perfect for these little commercials, but they'll also punch a feeder out no problem if you ever needed to. Loads of bubbles coming up out here, look. That's exciting. I'm going to have one method feeder down the margin here, out from this pipe and out from these reeds, and one a bit further out for the bream. It's not saying that we won't get a carp on there at some point today, but I think the carp tend to hug the margins here. Reels that I'm using are my Shimano 6000 DL reels. Bite alarms are a Sonic Gizmo, which are a cheap but decent bite alarm. Nothing about my kit is expensive whatsoever, all cheap stuff. Reels I got second hand off eBay. Rods were really cheap, I think they were about 40 quid each. They're really not expensive, but Corum products are really good quality. That's why I like to use them. Using banjo feeders today because it is quite a deep fishery, so I want all the bait to get down to the bottom, so we're using a banjo style method feeder on both. These are 35 grams, which is going to be absolutely perfect, and like I said, these rods are already set up and together, ready to go. I've got my unhooking mat there and some carp cur just in case we do get any better fish, and I've got my pellet wetter here ready to take the pellets, which we're going to do now. Right, let's get these pellets mixed up folks. Really excited to get some carp on the bank. Come on, we need to get some, don't we? It's been ages since we've had any carp on the channel. Now you probably want to soak these 2 mils for about 1.5 minutes, something like that. Let's take our rubbish with us, but I'm just going to cover them. Obviously in these pellets, if you can see this, you get some brown and some green, so you get a mix. There'll be a fish meal pellet. I love the contrast of the pellets. I always do that with my own brand of pellets. I'll do light and dark always. I think it's a a brilliant thing to do on the method feeder. Look at this fishery, folks. It's an old reservoir, so it's very, very deep. But while they're soaking for a minute, I think we're going to have a bit of a brew here. I've got a bug in my brew there. Awesome. Adds to the taste, that, folks, doesn't it? So that smell is actually really hard to describe. It's like a sweet sort of fish food smell. Like that you would smell in garden centres. You know the one I mean, don't you? Obviously, no. Yeah, it's like a very sweet fish food smell. It's quite nice, actually. I'm not sure if the pellets smell like that as well. We'll have a smell of them in a minute. Just sniffing everything today, folks. Got to do that as a fisherman though, haven't you? You've got to smell things. What do they taste like? Nothing. Don't taste like anything, folks. Don't try that at home. Not for human consumption. Does say it on the tin. Right, these pellets have had about a minute and a half now, so we're going to take them out of there. We're going to save these juices that are coming out of here. And I'm actually going to throw that down the margin, because you'll be surprised what that actually does. That'll bring carp into that margin. And we'll see if these pellets smell the same as the Wafters do. Let's see if they match. And as you can see there, 650 grams soaked actually fills one of these bait tubs. So these don't smell sweet. These have like a fish meal smell. They're just pretty much plain pellets, but they're coloured. I'm going to test that in the margin with the size 10. And it should sink slowly. Always test your Wafters, folks. Yeah, so that's got a slow drift downwards, that's fine, that. So they work as they should. Let's get this rod out towards the middle. And then we can sort our margin rod out, can't we? So I just handball my pellets on. I'm going to put a fair amount on there, because I do want some to come off on the cast and drift down to the bottom, because that can draw fish down. And like I said, we're going to go a little bit further out with this one. There we go. Absolutely no feathering on that cast, Westy. Awful cast. But it'll do for a first cast. I'm just eager to just get a rod out so we're at least fishing, and we can start racking up some numbers of fish, hopefully. Really can't believe there's nobody else fishing here today. Could be a bad sign. It could be a sign that it's not fishing really well, but God knows. Right, let's try one of the dark ones on this margin rod. I'm not going to put as many, because I've already put some pellets down that margin. I'm just going to put some pellets on that and just leave it showing. Just going to cover the hook a tiny bit, and that should produce a quick bite, hopefully. Can't remember whether I switched my bite alarms on. We'll soon find out when that rod gets ripped in, won't we? Right. Going just out from them reeds there near that other peg. So quick tip here, folks, when you're fishing in the margin close in like this, fish a slack line. Now you're still going to get an indication on the bite alarm, watch this. So when it goes tight, you're still going to get an indication, okay? But the slack line, if a carp's swimming past in the margin here and they brush against that line and it's tight, it will spook the carp. Whereas if it's slack, they'll hardly even feel it. So that's why if I'm fishing close in the margin like that, I usually fish a slack line. Oh, you see? That was a tug straight away then. But we still got an indication. That's going to go off soon, that. There'll be a carp already down there feeding on them pellets that I put in. Got my net set up there behind me, out the way. Quite a tight swim. We're in, folks. I knew that one would go off really quick. warriors here as well. They fight really hard. The 5-pounders in here fight harder than 10-pounders at most other places, because it's a really deep fishery. They fight really hard at your feet. Look at it cruising about. I love the way they look in this clear water. Perfect. Beautiful. Straight in. There we go, folks. First fish. It's a little bit deformed, this one, but that has fallen to the marine green wafters and pellets. Now, if you've noticed, I haven't called this a review of the pellets, because how can you really review baits when you don't know how a fishery is going to be fishing on that particular day? It might be an unfair representation. It's not the nicest looking carp, this. Bit of a cave troll. There we go, folks. Oi, I'll have that bloody wafter back. Not cheap then, but it's gone. He's got it. He's had it. Right, let's go. Let's put it back. Let's get another. Epic. Get in. A few of you have been asking in the comments, do I get to fish places free? No, I don't, folks. I have to pay, same as everybody else, unfortunately. But I don't mind, because look, at the end of the day, I'm still getting a day's fishing out of it. So I guess why should I get it free? I know that these fisheries are getting advertising from me, but it is what it is. Oh, that was my other rod. Was it? No, it's my bite line. Might be running out of battery. Again, what's going on here? Bait runner on, but slack line. But you can see just how quick that went off, folks. It was in, I don't know, 30 seconds max. And the pellets broke off the feeder really well. They completely dissolved. There was nothing left in that feeder. So they've dissolved off, they've broken down and done what they're meant to do. They've not stuck in the feeder. So I would say about 1.5 minutes is a perfect time to be soaking those Sonubaits 2 mils for in summer. Obviously you might need to do a little bit longer in winter. Exciting. Finally a proper carp on the bank. Well, I say a proper carp. Wasn't so big, was it? But still a carp. I think I kicked my brew over and all. I've only brought my small flask with me today as well. Better not waste it. Well, folks, at least we've saved the blank, haven't we, on the old marine green wafters? Sonubaits can hold their heads up proud. No, I'm sure we get a lot more fish before today's done with. Obviously, we've only been fishing for about 5 minutes. And I've been yapping for the rest of the time. I just want to say as well, folks, if you are enjoying the video, if you have picked up a couple of tips or it's been helpful for you, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, obviously helping the channel grow, and it means I can go out and do more bait tests and stuff like this for you all. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for watching, and hopefully we get a few more fish on the bank. So let us do a recast, and I'm going to put the dark one back on because we got a bite pretty quick on that, didn't we? So let's do that. Going through these wafters today. Sometimes the more subtle colours can be beneficial, but a lot of the times we're fishing these murky northern commercials. This one's really clear, but usually they're murky and you need a nice vibrant colour to stand out. Let's get this one back down that margin. A little bit closer in, I think, to me this time, but a little bit further out. Yeah, it's a bit deeper there. Might have been a touch too shallow. While we've got a minute between bites, let's talk a little bit more about the products themselves and also the pricing. So for Sonubaits sticky pellets, whether that be the marine green like we're using today or some of the other flavours, for 650 grams, most retailers are selling them for £4.59, which is an increase on what they were, but pellets are going up across the industry. And for the 8mm Bandon Wafters, you're talking £5.19. Now, something to note about these is you actually get less in a pot now than what you used to. You used to get 65 grams, if I'm not mistaken. Now you get 40. I mean, they could have put them in smaller pots because this looks absolutely empty. And yeah, obviously things are going up and companies don't necessarily want you to feel like you're losing out, even though you are, because things are going up in price, and also you're getting less for your money, which is fine. I think personally I'd rather pay more and get the same amount of products as I was getting, but that's just personal preference. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What would you rather companies do? Would you rather them put the price up and you get the same amount, or would you rather them put less in a pack and keep stuff at the same price? Let me know. It's an interesting one, that, isn't it? And like I said, the 2mm, I'm pretty sure you used to get more than 650 grams with the sticky pellets, but I might be wrong on that one. I know that most other pellet companies, they sell grams of between 800 and kilogram packs, so it's slightly less, but to be honest with you, 650 grams is about perfect for a day session. You wouldn't really use more than that. I think the average, I did a little bit of a poll with my subscribers the other day, asking how many grams of pellets they think they use in a day session, and the average was between 600 and 800. So that's all you really need. And like I said, one of those 650 gram bags, it fills one of these bait tubs. You'd struggle to use all them on the method feeder, wouldn't you? But depends how busy a day that you're having, doesn't it? Or if you're catching absolutely nothing like I am today, you won't use any at all. But what I do, and a little tip for you, if you don't use all your pellets and your partner or your missus will let you, put them in a freezer bag and freeze them, if they'll let you. It's all right when you live alone like I do. You can stuff all your freezer full of bait. Dear me. Holy hell. Oh my God. Shredding me. Shredding me, folks. That absolutely tore off. Again, this is on the dark colour. I had my phone in my hand, I've just launched it. Oh my God. Trying not to let myself go flat rodded. Oh, this must be a good fish, folks, surely. There ain't no £5 fighting like this, is there? But it's giving me little head shakes, which suggests to me that it probably isn't a big fish. Look at that rod, they're bending it double. £2 test curve rod, this. Yeah, it's only a small fish, look. Absolutely crazy how these small fish fight so hard. Little mirrors. And it's in the net. Second fish to the dark colour. Oh no, it's not a bad fish, that, folks. It's not a bad fish. That's a good £5. What are you giving me for that, folks? Are we going 4.5, 5? Angry thing. Nice dark fish, as you'd expect from a clear lake like this. They go darker in clear lakes. It's a safety thing. It's to do with the pigmentation, but beautiful fish. I'm going to get it back because it's lively. Good fight, that, buddy. Oh, careful. Angry one, this one. Can't even get it out of the net. There we go. Well, it seems to be the dark colour that's doing the trick. And like I said, I think that might be something to do with it being such a clear lake. Might be just be a little bit more subtle. I must admit, I was interested to see how green would do as a colour. I mean, I'm not absolutely bagging up today. That's only the second fish, but two nice fish. I'm into a fish. Little bream. First bream of today. It's a nice one. Again on the dark. Is it a hybrid? No, it's a proper bream, that. There's some hybrid between roach and bream in here. It's a really thick, deep bodied bream, that. I'm happy with that one. It's a nice fish. Did I not bring my towel today? Come on, Westy, you're shaping wooden. Where's your towel? Here, right. The old Westy's angling towel, I have brought it. Thank God for that. Bream slime. Dear me, God knows how long that bream had been on for. Probably swimming around saying, "You're going to reel me in or what?" I know that some of you don't like people using bite alarms on the bank, but if you listen to how quiet I have mine, it's just like a little buzz. The tone's right down. Yeah, very, very quiet. Try and be respectful. There's still loads of bubbles coming up just out from here. I'm sure they're skimmers though, they won't be carp. Well, all the fish today have been on the dark coloured wafters, and I suppose we should really try and get a fish on the fluoro, shouldn't we? So I should probably put one on the fluoro. I just wanted to get a few fish caught, just so it wasn't a absolute disaster of a video. But now that we've got a few fish on the bank, I really think we should try and get a fish on the fluoro ones. We know the dark ones work, which are a really, really dark green. Now, different colours work differently depending on the clarity of the lake. Like I've said to you, if it's a really murky lake, you're probably better with fluoro colours. If it's a clear lake like this, you might be better with darker colours. I find that yellows work better. We're in again. Drop back, I reckon that's a bream, folks. Was a little skimmer. Right, I swap this one onto a fluoro. Also, folks, as a thank you for watching this video, I will be giving away the rest of this marine green tub and also a pack of the Sonubaits pellets as well. All you need to do to be in with a chance of winning the wafters and the pack of pellets is make sure you've commented on the video, share the video with an angling friend, and also head over to the WestysAngling Instagram, Facebook page or TikTok and give us a follow on there. That's all you need to do and you'll be in with a chance of winning, and I will pick somebody at random from the comments and I'll reply to your comment telling you that you've won and pin it to the top of the comment section so everybody else can see who's won. I usually pick the winner between 1 and 2 weeks after the video's launched. The reason that I'm not keeping them myself is I have so many pots of wafters at home, because obviously if you don't follow in the channel you won't know, but I actually sell my own wafters and baits, so I've no use for them. So better somebody else having them. And a thank you from me for obviously watching the videos. Right, I'm going to get this back out. Let's get a fluoro on this left hand margin rod as well. Let's see if we can get a fish on the fluoro. Here we are, folks. Fish on the fluoro. Little silver bream on the fluoro. It's very strange how there's bream down that right hand margin, but it seems to be carp down this left hand margin. Fishing the same distance out from the bank and everything. Watch me get a bream on this left hand rod now. There are carp cruising about on the top as well, so I don't think the carp are feeding readily. I've had much better days than this here, but is it down to the bait, folks? Who knows? I'm going to try it on the spot where there's fizzing. That's absolutely spot on, that spot. Mega deep there, still sinking. That, folks, is absolutely mental. Might go home and get my swim shorts and get in that jacuzzi, what we saying? Crazy. I'm pretty sure it'll be bream though. I think it would have ripped off by now if that was carp. I'm right on that spot. Got a fish on down this left hand margin. Nice bream, little skimmer. on the dark green. Might be the biggest breamer today, that, I'm not sure. It's a close one. Oh, I got fish on the other one maybe. Loads of little false indications like that. That was just a liner. But there's still absolutely loads of bubbles coming up on that spot. Let's get this down the old margin again. Keep that wafter on. So that's 4 bream and 2 carp so far. Bream. On the fluoro. No carp on the fluoro yet. They're a good stamp. Again, these are really dark as well. Oh. Yeah. Fish on the other. I was right, the bream have moved into the swim. Get yourself in. God, it's mental that, it's going mental that bream. But it's unhooked itself in the net. That one's a bit bigger, isn't it? Well, I think this is a carp. Has it got me other line? I think it's got me other line. That one's over there. Back on the rest. It was a very violent run that. Little common. Lost my feeder because it shot off that fast. Good fish. Oh, it's probably about £6 that. It's very heavy fish that. Absolutely nailed right in the side of the mouth. There we go. See, stuck my feeder off. Look at this beauty. Lovely colour to it. Golden common carp. £5 or £6, something like that. It's really deep fish. Alright, we'll get you back. Making noises at me, grunting at me. Epic! This is a really nice bream. Felt like a dead weight. Oh my god! That's a proper slab. Look at this. Oh, this other one's going. Look at that slab. Look at how dark it is. Now, that is a proper bream. Feels like wide angle lens. Beauty. Bonny fish, really dark. So, the one thing I've found out about Sonubaits wafters is they're actually a very, very hard hook bait. When you compare them to other wafters that are on the market, other wafters are softer. Now, there's pros and cons to both. Softer wafters will tend to leach more flavour out into the water. And harder wafters are obviously more durable. So you can use them a good few times before you have to change them. I tell you what, folks, I'm really chuffed with that bream. That's an absolutely stonking bream, that right down here in the margin. Why is it that always the bigger fish are in the margin? Just seems to go that way, doesn't it? So the video doesn't end up being about 3 hours long. I'll probably do a little montage of all the fish that we catch for the next hour. Then we'll do a little bit of a summary at the end of the session. And I'll let you know my thoughts on the bait. Well, I'm going to end the montage there because we're into a carp and it shot off down this left hand side of the bank, coming in fairly easy. Similar sort of stamp to them others, I think. Don't know where the bigger fish are today. They definitely go bigger than this in here. That might be slightly better than them others, folks. Let's put it in the mat. Yeah, slightly better, that one. Lovely fish, really good condition. That one's on a half and half fluoro, half dark. Look at that. So what? Okay. Blast it with some carp cur and I'll get it back. Pretty fish. Well folks, we're coming up to the end of our short 4-hour session there. I think that last carp was a great fish to end on. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm sure you'll agree. The Sonubaits Marine Green range has done really good in this little 4-hour session. We've had plenty of fish, we've had some nice carp on the bank. And don't forget to make sure you comment and subscribe for your chance to win this week's giveaway, which is the bag of pellets and the rest of these wafters. So once again, thanks very much for watching folks, and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling.